Welcome to another deep dive. Today we're going to be exploring Robert Collier's perspective on personal power and achievement.
Okay.
And we're drawing this from his book, What You Send Out into the World Comes Back to You, The Path of Life.
Right.
You had shared some excerpts with me that piqued your interest in self-improvement. So let's unpack what Collier has to say.
Yeah, let's do that. He kicks things off with a really compelling analogy
Okay.
to kind of set the stage for his ideas. Imagine a young couple full of hopes and dreams, and they're suddenly facing a crisis. Their baby falls ill,
Oh.
and they're caught in this tough spot, not destitute enough for charity,
Right.
but not well off enough to easily handle the medical expenses. What do they need most?
Yeah, that's a great question. Instinctively, we might think financial aid,
Right.
but Collier suggests something deeper, doesn't he?
Exactly. He argues they don't simply need a handout.
Okay.
They need to tap into their own inner strength, their resilience. They need inspiration and opportunity to rise to the challenge, not just a temporary fix.
That's such a crucial point. It seems like he's setting the stage for his central argument.
Yeah.
This idea of an invincible vital principle within each of us.
Precisely. Collier believes that this principle of life
Okay.
isn't some abstract concept or scientific breakthrough,
Yeah.
but a fundamental force for growth and achievement that we all possess.
So how does he explain this force? It sounds a little mystical.
He grounds it
Okay.
in observations of nature's incredible resilience over millennia. So think about
Right.
the amoeba adapting to its environment,
Right.
dinosaurs evolving to survive,
Yeah.
or even our own bodies forming calluses for protection. Collier points to these examples as evidence of this vital principle constantly at work.
That makes sense. It's like life itself is constantly overcoming obstacles,
Yeah,
pushing forward. And he's saying the same force is within us.
exactly. He's saying we're not just passive bystanders in life. We have this innate ability to adapt, to overcome,
Yeah.
to tap into a wellspring of strength that often lies dormant. In fact, Collier argues that obstacles aren't there to defeat us,
Right.
but to awaken this inner power, forcing it to adapt and become even stronger.
Interesting.
Think about it. Haven't you experienced this in your own life?
Yeah, absolutely.
When have you felt most resourceful during smooth sailing or when facing a tough challenge?
Definitely when facing a challenge. It's almost like adversity forces us to become more creative,
Yes.
more resilient. Collier even shares that anecdote about the two boys lifting a massive log to save their brother, a feat they couldn't replicate later,
Right.
even with more people helping.
It's a perfect illustration of how we can tap into a subconscious strength we might not even realize we possess. It seems impossible in the moment, but when the need arises,
Yeah.
we find a way. And that leads us to Collier's next point,
Okay.
the incredible power of the mind. He calls it the open sesame of life. But he's not just talking about willpower. He's talking about understanding how the conscious and subconscious mind
Okay.
work together.
Okay, so he dives into the mechanics of the mind.
He suggests a three-part model
Oh.
of the mind.
Yeah.
The conscious, subconscious, and the universal mind. But he emphasizes that the subconscious is the real key to unlocking our full potential.
So the subconscious mind is like the control center operating behind the scenes.
It is. And what's fascinating is how Collier was writing about this decades ago,
Right.
yet his ideas align with modern psychology.
Yeah.
Think about how much your subconscious handles without you even realizing it.
It's amazing.
Breathing, digestion, heart rate,
Yeah.
all these vital functions happening on autopilot.
We take these things for granted. But Collier believed the subconscious is capable of even more.
Absolutely. He provides some striking examples
Okay.
to highlight its power.
Yeah.
He talks about our bodies maintaining precise chemical balances without us consciously knowing the formulas or those prodigious calculators.
Yeah.
Individuals who could perform complex mathematical feats seemingly beyond conscious ability.
It's like when we learn a new skill, like playing a piece on the piano.
Yeah,
Once we've mastered it, we don't consciously think about every note. Our fingers just move.
exactly. Collier refers to that as the inner man taking over. And here's where it gets really interesting,
Okay.
maybe even a bit daunting. He compares this powerful subconscious to electricity.
Okay.
It can be incredibly beneficial, but also destructive if misused.
So he's saying negative thoughts and fears could manifest as readily as positive ones.
Precisely.
That's a little unnerving.
Yeah.
But also makes sense.
Collier stresses the importance of understanding how to harness this power for good.
Okay.
And he believes mental images are the key.
Wait, are we talking about visualization?
Yeah.
Like imagining the things we want to achieve?
You're on the right track.
Mm-hmm.
He even argues that this is how prayer works.
Wow.
Not as a divine intervention,
Yeah.
but as a way to focus the mind so intensely that it brings about the desired outcome.
It's almost like those vivid daydreams we all have.
Yeah.
The ones that feel almost real. What if we could intentionally harness that level of focus and belief?
Collier believed we absolutely could.
Yeah.
He goes as far as to say that the material world, to some extent, is a mental creation.
Okay.
The way we perceive things shapes our reality.
So our thoughts and beliefs actually influence the world around us.
He uses this rather startling anecdote about a man who was tricked into feeling ill by his friend's suggestions. They convinced him he was sick, and his body responded accordingly.
Whoa, that's both creepy and fascinating.
Right.
It speaks to the power of suggestion and how susceptible the subconscious mind can be.
That's Collier's point. The subconscious is incredibly powerful
Yeah.
and responds to both positive and negative suggestions.
That's a little scary.
So the question becomes, how do we tap into this potential for good?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where Collier gets really practical.
He lays out a step-by-step process, right?
Yeah. He does. And it all starts with understanding that we possess this incredible power within us,
Okay.
which is the first step.
So realizing we have this power is the first step. What comes next?
The second step is knowing specifically what you want. Not in a vague,
Right.
what is that one desire,
Okay.
that burning goal that truly motivates you?
It's like that old saying, a goal without a plan is just a wish. We have to define what we're aiming for.
Exactly. And Collier cautions against scattering our energy across too many desires. It's like trying to heat a whole room with a magnifying glass.
Yeah.
You might get a little warmth here and there,
Right.
but you won't generate any real heat. But if you focus that beam on one specific point,
Yeah.
you can create a powerful, concentrated force.
So focus is key. Don't try to boil the ocean. Pick
Right.
one thing and go all in. That makes a lot of sense. But I'm still wrestling with the how. How do we actually imprint these desires on our subconscious mind?
Collier believed visualization is the answer. We need to see, feel, and experience our desire in our minds as vividly as possible. It's like creating a movie in our heads where we're the star,
Yeah.
living out our desired outcome in full detail.
So it's not just about thinking about it abstractly, but really immersing ourselves in the experience, engaging our senses, our emotions.
Exactly. And Collier saw this as the true power of prayer. It's
Mm.
not about begging for favors,
Right.
but about aligning our minds with the universal mind, with the source of all creation.
So is belief the key? Believing that what we desire is possible, that it's already ours, even if we can't see it yet.
You've hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Collier states, what you desire when you pray, believe that you will receive it and you will have it. That unwavering belief
Right.
is what imprints the desire on the subconscious mind, allowing the universal mind to take over and guide us, orchestrating events and bringing the right people and opportunities into our lives at the right time.
It's almost like planting a seed. We can't keep digging it up to see if it's growing. We need to trust the process, to nourish it with our belief and allow it to blossom in its own time.
Beautifully put. And Collier emphasizes the importance of gratitude,
Yeah.
not just for what we already have,
Okay.
but for what we desire,
Right.
as if it were already ours. This reinforces the belief, solidifying it in our subconscious.
So gratitude becomes a powerful tool, not just for feeling good, but for actively shaping our reality.
Precisely. It's about stepping into that reality,
Okay.
feeling the joy and abundance as if it were already here. Collier even uses this powerful image of swimming in the ocean of God's love. He's encouraging us to surrender to the support of the universal mind,
Yeah.
to trust that it will carry us. And the more faith we have,
Right.
the more we open ourselves up to his power.
So it's about aligning ourselves with the flow of the universe, with the natural forces that are already working for our good rather than resisting them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But there's a catch. Sometimes our conscious mind, with all its doubts and fears,
Yeah.
can get in the way.
Yeah.
We try to force things
Right. Right.
to control the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
And in doing so, we resist the very power we're trying to tap into.
So how do we quiet those doubts? How do
Go
we
on.
overcome that resistance? Like, our own minds can become our biggest obstacle.
Collier suggests turning to what he calls our little mental elves.
Okay.
He envisioned these as subconscious workers,
Right.
always there tirelessly helping us solve problems and achieve our goals.
Okay.
He even imagines a subconscious warehouse
Mm-hmm.
where all our knowledge, experiences, and even inherited wisdom are stored.
So there's a whole reservoir of wisdom we have access to,
Yeah,
even if we're not consciously aware of it.
that was Collier's belief.
Yeah.
And he said, we could tap into this wisdom by simply asking,
Wow.
by giving our subconscious mind clear instructions,
Okay.
by trusting those little mental elves to do the work.
It's like delegating a task. We say, hey,
Yeah.
subconscious,
Yeah.
this is the problem. You figure it out.
Right.
I trust you.
Right. Precisely. He even recommends a specific process for this. Gather all the information you have on a problem.
Oh.
Then relax.
Mm-hmm.
Focus your mind on the problem.
Right.
And mentally hand it over to your subconscious. You might even fall asleep knowing those little mental elves will be working on it while you rest.
It's like giving our subconscious mind a to-do list before we go to bed.
Exactly. And when we wake up,
Yeah.
the answer might be there.
Right.
Or it might come to us later in a flash of insight or sudden realization.
So even when we're not consciously working on a problem, our subconscious mind can still be chugging away in the background,
Yes.
finding solutions. That's amazing.
That's the incredible power Collier wanted us to tap into.
Mm.
But he emphasized that it takes practice. Like any skill, we might not get it right away,
Right.
but with persistence, we can develop this ability to connect with our subconscious mind, to access the wisdom and power of the universal mind.
So this isn't some magical formula. It's about understanding a principle,
Yes.
developing a skill, and then applying it consistently.
You got it. And now I'm curious,
Mhm.
what's resonating most with you so far?
Ah.
What's sparking your curiosity or making you think differently about your own potential?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot to consider, but incredibly empowering to think we're not just at the mercy of circumstance, but active participants in shaping our reality. That's,
It is a powerful concept.
yeah, a game changer.
Yeah.
But you're right, it can feel a little overwhelming, all this talk of subconscious power, universal minds, and mental elves.
Right.
Where do we even begin to apply this in our everyday lives?
Collier is very clear that knowledge without action is useless.
Right.
He wouldn't want us to just passively absorb these ideas.
Right.
So let's translate what we've learned into some concrete steps.
Okay.
First, and this is crucial, identify one desire you feel strongly about, not a vague wish,
Yeah.
but a clear, specific goal that truly excites you, something that aligns with your values and aspirations.
Okay, so focus is paramount. Choose one goal,
Right.
like that laser beam analogy. Yeah.
And really hone in on it.
Precisely. Once you've identified that goal, dedicate time each day to visualizing it.
Okay.
Create that mental movie.
Right.
See yourself living it, feeling it,
Yeah.
experiencing the joy and fulfillment as if it's already real. Don't just think about it. Immerse yourself in the experience.
Engaging all my senses, my emotions, making it as vivid and real as possible.
Yes.
Like I'm actually living it in the present moment.
You got it. And here's a critical point Collier emphasizes. Don't get bogged down in the how.
Okay.
Don't try to map out every single step and logistical detail of how you'll achieve it.
Right.
Trust that the universal mind will guide you, orchestrate events, and bring the right opportunities and resources into your life at the right time.
So surrender control.
Yes.
Focus on the what, not the how.
Yeah.
That's a real shift in thinking for me.
It can be a challenge to let go, but it's essential. And remember that feeling of gratitude we talked about.
Right. That's the next step.
Yeah.
Cultivate a sense of gratitude for your desire as if it's already yours. Feel the joy, the abundance, the satisfaction as though you're already experiencing it in your life right now.
That makes a lot of sense. Gratitude, not just as a pleasant feeling, but as a powerful tool to strengthen belief and align ourselves with what we want to attract.
Exactly. It's about shifting your internal state to match the reality you desire,
Yeah.
even before it manifests in the physical world.
Right.
And finally, remember to be mindful of your thoughts throughout the day. Notice when doubts and fears creep in.
Yeah.
And gently redirect your focus back to your desire,
Okay.
back to that vivid mental image you've created.
So it's an ongoing practice, not a one-time exercise. It's
Yeah.
about consistently aligning our thoughts, beliefs, and actions with our desired outcome.
You've summed it up perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
It's about creating a fertile inner environment where your desires can take root and flourish.
Yeah.
And remember, you have those little mental elves, those subconscious workers diligently working behind the scenes, even when you're not consciously focused on your goal.
So even when I'm sleeping or going about my day, my subconscious is still working on making this desire a reality.
That's the beauty of it. You're not alone in this endeavor. You have this incredible power within you, always available,
Yeah.
waiting to be tapped.
This has been such an insightful deep dive. It's truly shifted my perspective on what's possible.
It's been my pleasure to explore these ideas with you.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, this is just the beginning. Collier's work is full of wisdom and practical guidance. Keep exploring, keep experimenting, and see what amazing things you can create in your own life.
Fantastic. So to wrap things up, what's the one key takeaway you want our listener to walk away with today?
Each of us possesses a wellspring of power far exceeding our everyday awareness. By understanding the principles, Collier outlines the power of belief, visualization, and focused intention. We can tap into this potential and achieve remarkable things.
Beautifully said. And to our listener, we leave you with a challenge. What's one desire you feel strongly about? Are you willing to give Collier's method a try and see how it can help you manifest it? We believe in you and can't wait to hear about the amazing things you accomplish.